CARICOM Secretariat on course for green energy power.
Efforts in train to improve education standards in the region.
And the countdown to CARIFESTA 14 is on. Welcome to the CARICOM News Time for the week ending July 19th, 2019. I am Tusankin English Francis.
And I am Michelle Nurse. Thanks for joining us. As CARICOM prepares its populace for the demands of a 21st century workforce, a partnership between the CARICOM Secretariat and UNESCO is working to implement quality standards for the education sector. Here's Jacine Dunkley-Balcom with that report.
Standards for the teaching profession are currently being reviewed by experts across the world. The review is being conducted via a series of consultation workshops being done in 5 UNESCO regions. Experts from the Caribbean and Latin America have started reviewing the standards for this region. The consultation began on Wednesday, July 17 at the Arthur Chung Convention Center in Georgetown, Guyana, through a partnership with the CARICOM Secretariat, UNESCO, and other stakeholders.
The first phase took place in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, and the second phase is taking place in the region of Latin America and the Caribbean. So it was a fantastic opportunity for CARICOM to collaborate with UNESCO to engage in its own consultations around the proposed CARICOM regional standards for the teaching profession, and actually look more closely at the ways in which those proposed standards are aligned to the UNESCO Global Framework, or the proposed UNESCO Global Framework for the standards. So that's what's happening here today. We have actually included a number of participants within Guyana and across the world. So we have representation from South Africa, we have representation from Europe, Latin America, within the Caribbean itself, and in particular a very strong cohort of Guyanese participation stakeholders who are involved in the consultations here today, including, and I think one of the things that we need to celebrate is the participation of our teacher trainee candidates, because these standards, once they are confirmed and endorsed by the COSORT for implementation, are going to affect their future and the nature of the profession and the kind of professional that they turn out to be.
The purpose of these regional consultations is to make sure that these standards are developed not by us sitting in an office at UNESCO, but by the profession themselves. So we have these consultations all over the world. This one is being held in Guyana, but it's inviting members from all over the Latin America and Caribbean region to give us their thoughts and comments on these draft frameworks that we've developed, and to help us further build it and eventually implement it.
An international task force on Teachers for Education 2030 has also been established to support governments and teacher organizations to agree on and implement a common understanding of teaching and teacher quality.
The task force is a group of stakeholders interested in the quality of education, and particularly in the progress of the teaching profession. It was established back in 2008 in Oslo, in Norway, with support from some countries, particularly Norway, but with constituents from governments, civil society, teacher unions, like Education International is part of it, and also experts. So the purpose of the task force is basically advancing in teacher professionalization, teacher professional development, but also looking into the working conditions of teachers that will allow this professionalization and these attempts to improve the quality of teachers worldwide.
Speaking to the outcome of the consultations that were conducted in Africa, the executive director of the Africa Federation of Teaching Regulatory Authorities said it went very well.
The validation of the continental frameworks went very well, and immediately after that we started working on our final continental frameworks, and which of course we expect that before the end of the year, just like you have CARICOM standards, we are going to have African standards. So we've made input to the global, and we have also adopted the global to to be guiding what we are doing as a federation within the continent. And we expect that before the end of the year, the African continent will have a framework to refer to when they are talking about teaching standards or competencies or capabilities for teachers, for school leaders.
Following each consultation, a group of international experts meets to review and discuss the input generated from the stakeholder discussions. They are expected to provide direction on further development and refinement of the international guidance framework.
Plans are advanced for the CARICOM Secretariat to convert energy from the sun. Beginning next February, the CARICOM Secretariat will benefit from a wider program to improve the power supply system in Guyana. The government of Japan is supporting the program. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque acknowledged Japan's important role in facilitating development in the community as he accredited a new envoy from Japan, His Excellency Tatsuo Hirayama, on Wednesday, the 17th of July.
JICA plays an important role in facilitating development cooperation between Japan and CARICOM, and is currently collaborating with the Government of Guyana and the CARICOM Secretariat towards the introduction of renewable energy and improvement of the power supply system in Guyana. This includes installation and demonstrating of a photovoltaic system and an energy management system at the Secretariat commencing next February. I'm advised that when the project will be complete next year, we will be almost 100% self-sufficient in generating our own electricity from solar power, thanks to you.
The Secretary General explained that Japan's cooperation has impacted areas ranging from the environment and climate change to renewable energies and non-communicable diseases. He extended the community's gratitude for Japan's assistance in the aftermath of Hurricanes Maria and Irma in 2017. The new ambassador to CARICOM expressed his appreciation for CARICOM's support in strengthening relations with his country.
On this special occasion, I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Your Excellency for the Secretariat's invaluable cooperation extended to Japan in the international arena. Since His Excellency Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, visited Caribbean to attend the first ever Japan CARICOM Summit meeting in 2014, we have several visits to the Caribbean by state ministers and parliamentary vice ministers from Japan. We have held foreign ministers meetings between Japan and the CARICOM community, as well as we hosted a high-level visit to Japan by dignitaries from the CARICOM, including Your Excellency.
The CARICOM Secretariat is seeking to make it easier for persons who move across the region for work to access their social security benefits. CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque made the point as he addressed the heads of CARICOM social security organizations during their 30th meeting in Guyana over the past week. He noted that while the CARICOM Agreement on Social Security (CAS) has been in force since 1997, some operational challenges have been limiting the benefits to CARICOM nationals.
Although community nationals are accessing benefits under the CARICOM Social Security Agreement, there are some operational challenges which I'm advised on, principally with protracted processing times and delays in the payment of benefits, and I think, Mr. Thomas, you adequately addressed that. The Secretariat, with financing from the 11th European Development Fund, the EDF, will be undertaking, of course in collaboration with the heads, research to develop a mechanism to streamline the process, making it easier for those who have moved within the region for work to access the social security benefits. There are some immediate administrative actions that can be taken to help in addressing some of the current challenges and in fulfilling our regional objectives. I refer to the timely and consistent submission of data on the implementation of the agreement. This is key for monitoring its impact and would be invaluable in informing future policy development. There must also be full reporting to our respective line ministries so that the relevant community ministerial councils, the COSAD and the COFAC, could be advised of the status of pertinent issues and appropriate regional policy responses could be developed.
Issues before the meeting included sustaining social security funding at a time when the region's people are living longer but are adopting unhealthy lifestyles. The Secretary General pointed to the growing rate of non-communicable diseases.
One of those areas, the impact of non-communicable diseases, NCDs, is a major item on the community's agenda. Yes, we are living longer, but we are not necessarily living a healthier life. The medical cost, the impact of labor productivity, and other factors related to NCDs translate to about 3 to 5% of GDP in our region. The prevalence of NCDs, no doubt, has had an effect on social security systems, and the results of your working group on the issue could provide a valuable insight into the depth of this problem. This is a problem that our health ministers have been grappling with and which has received the attention of the heads. It is, some of the health professionals will say, nearing a crisis proportion, the NCDs. We're seeing, even in our children, obesity leading to lifestyle diseases.
We're counting down to CARIFESTA, the Caribbean's mega festival of arts, which will open in Trinidad and Tobago on August the 16th. There is so much happening as plans for CARIFESTA to move into the final stages. Jacine Dunkley-Malcolm is here to tell us more.
Thanks, Michelle. And as we all know, CARIFESTA will be held from August 16 to 24. It will be in Trinidad and Tobago, and it will be held under the theme Connect, Share, and Invest. And I will be there to provide the CARICOM Secretariat's coverage of this mega cultural festival, as you've just called it. I'm very excited about it. I know there are some members of staff from the Secretariat who are planning to be there, not just to work. Of course, you know, we have our hardworking staff who will also be there. And just this week I attended a meeting of the Regional Cultural Committee, and the reports coming out of that meeting it's phenomenal. There are so many persons that are going to be coming from our CARICOM member states. Some countries are bringing over 200 persons. I know Haiti is bringing over 200. Jamaica and Guyana are bringing over 100 persons. You know, the countries are well underway in terms of their preparations for this festival, and I look forward to covering it, and I look forward to persons here in this space checking out the coverage that we'll be bringing from the CARICOM Secretariat. Okay,
and we hear that you can walk down the streets of the Caribbean at CARIFESTA. How can that be possible in Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, we have what is gonna be called, well, it's our Grand Market, which is a part of it's a feature of each CARIFESTA. And this year, of course, you can have your passport that will take you to each of the different CARICOM member states while only having to pay to visit one. And you won't be able to just see CARICOM member states, but there are also other countries who will be at CARIFESTA 14. You can see fashion, you can see dance, you can taste foods from across the region. I'm looking forward to some of that sumptuous food. I know Antigua always brings those huge lobster. Listen, I am very excited for that. There's craft. There's so much for you to see at CARIFESTA 14. So if you have not yet booked your ticket, now is the time to do so. And there are actually specials going on within the Caribbean. Check out the CARIFESTA website for details. It's www.carifesta.net.
And there's talk about a mobile app. Tell us about it.
There is a mobile app, actually. In fact, I have it on my phone right here. I have an Android, but if you have an iPhone, you can also download it. You can get it on the App Store for, of course, the Apple, and the Google Play Store if you have an Android. This is what the app looks like. So go ahead if you want to know what's happening each day, what kind of events and activities are going to be happening throughout the festival. The schedule of events is available on the app. Go ahead and download it so that you can know what to go to, where to go, and when to go. I look forward to seeing you at CARIFESTA, and I look forward to you watching our coverage here in this space on CARIFESTA 14 in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thanks so much, Jacine, for that update.
Thanks for having me, Michelle.
As things are heating up in Trinidad and Tobago, we are hearing about another kind of heat. This time, it's ominous. The Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, PAHO WHO, is urging countries in the region to be prepared for heat waves which may intensify as the summer period progresses. PAHO has developed a guideline to help countries in the region to formulate contingency plans to address heat waves. But what can you do to protect yourself and those in your care from the harmful effects of the heat? According to PAHO, stay tuned to the weather alerts and forecast. Avoid sun exposure between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Do not leave children or older persons in parked vehicles. Do not exercise or engage in intense outdoor activities without proper protection. Drink water every 2 hours, even if you aren't thirsty. Keep the home cool, covering windows and using air conditioners or fans during the hottest hours. And what must you do if there are signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion or heat stroke? According to PAHO, stop all physical activities, call an ambulance immediately. Go to or move the affected person to a cool site. Use any physical cooling means, such as cooling the head and the body down with water and fanning the person.
As we wrap up today, we extend heartiest congratulations to Miss Margaret May Macaulay of Jamaica on being re-elected to the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights for the period 2020 to 2023. She was re-elected at the 49th General Assembly of the Organization of American States held in Colombia recently. Congratulations to Professor Vereen Shepherd, also of Jamaica, who was re-elected to the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. She received the highest number of votes of any of the candidates during the elections held in New York recently. She will serve for the period 2020 to 2024.
Remember, for these and other stories, you can visit the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or visit the CARICOM website at caricom.org.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.